What the hell is this?
Oh, it's just a bug on the windshield.
Just kidding.
Because it's coming out of my arm.
Because we're in a Scooby-Doo episode.
Because we crossed into the bloodline.
Okay.
There's a giant ketchup bottle right next to it.
What makes you think that's blood?
Because we're by the river.
Why do we use that as a bus?
The vampire convention.
Wait a minute.
Yes, the overturned ambulance.
Bloodmobile turned over.
Because it's Comic-Con.
Yeah, road sign, like now entering Transylvania.
What makes you think it's blood? Now I'm in Transylvania. Okay. How's that?
That's good.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's good.
Now I'm in Transylvania has to be, I don't know. Or, you know, they just...
Put a vampire on top of their car.
Yeah, and then you put a little zombie or something there. Dracula. Right?
Yeah.
Vampire, no.
Yeah.
Rob Gustaveson.
He's so smart.
Is that from Transylvania?
Yeah, Dracula, Rock Shop.
I knew that. I don't follow pop culture, so I'm really the person to do this. But okay, you get the idea. What you do when you create a character, create something totally unique. And the best way to do it is to do what we did. Make your character completely different. I used to say, if the Ninja Turtles, could become famous, anything can work. And now I have a sponge wearing pants to prove that. Anything can work. In fact, I send some cartoons with the grandkids that are supposed to be fish, but they don't look like fish to me. I can't tell what they are. So any kind of drawing can work, apparently. So the most important thing is you want to be funny. Or weird, as these people have. You can be funny or you can be just really strange. But this is the really great thing about cartooning. Anything goes. And that's what's really exciting about it, because apparently anything goes. And that's why I always say, my friends have made almost every character you've ever heard of, from Siegel and Schuster, who I knew many years ago, who invented Superman. Jerry Robinson's still alive, made a Joker, you see? So from the Joker to Superman, to the Ninja Turtles, to the Simpsons, to the, whatever it is, my friends just had a weird idea. The weirdest friend I had was a guy called Bob Burton. He made a character called the Flaming Carrot. Does anyone know it? It's a guy who read too many comic books. So his head was on fire and it became a giant carrot. This makes no sense whatsoever. But they wanted to make a movie of the Flaming Carrot. And they couldn't understand how Brad Pitt would play the carrot. So they said to Bob, and this is real, they said to Bob, can you tell us if the carrot has a backup team of superheroes? And so they went with a backup team. They made a movie, didn't have the carrot in it, just the backup team. It was $80 million they spent. They could have spent $10. Pee Wee Herman was in the movie, Janine Garofalo, Bill Macy, Ben Stiller. Yeah, it was called Mystery Men, and one of the women, had father's head in a bowling ball, Anyway, it lost $50 million. So this is my friend who had a failure. One of my friends, only one, all the rest are rich. But I flew to Atlanta, where Bob lives, before I got the word that it lost money. So I didn't spend a week in Atlanta with Bob. It was a really bad week. because he kept saying he was going to pitch my next cartoon idea to a movie studio. But I didn't want him ever to say he knew. Because he lost $50 million. So not all the ideas work, but most of the ideas, really stupid ideas, have done really well. And the stupider the idea, better it does. I asked Jack Kirby, who's a good friend of mine, once, why would you get superpowers if you're exposed to nuclear radiation? And Jack said the famous words, "Shut up, Phil."
All right, Phil, with that, I want to take some time for the rest of the folks, but let's give a hand for this great drawing. And what Phil was just expressing there was one of the basic principles of graphic design. They come up with as many stupid ideas as you can as rapidly as possible, and that's one of the principles that we use as designers. Just keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. We can go more further into that, but before we do, I want to make sure we get a chance to hear from Josh Elder.
Okay, thanks. Hi everybody, I'm Josh Elder, and I'm primarily a comic book writer. I've written Batman and Superman in a series called Mail Order Ninja that was also a comic strip, and now I run a group called Reading with Pictures that works to bring comics into the classroom, use comics in education. We do a lot of stuff with teachers, for teachers, doing research on comics and education. It's all sorts of cool stuff. And I'm probably pretty unique in that I'm a writer that does cartooning workshops. And part of it is I'm not a particularly great artist, but I can still communicate visually. And I can teach kids who are afraid to pick up a pen or a pencil, who think that they'll look stupid, which is like the worst thing in the world when you're a kid. Bad writing is kind of hard to tell. You know, as long as your penmanship makes sense, your sentences and your grammar aren't completely atrocious, your writing isn't easy to call out and say you're terrible, but art is. And part of that process is convincing them that you don't have to be Picasso to be a cartoonist. Another thing that I do, however, is talk about storytelling and how stories work, and I use a 3-panel comic strip to do that. And I'm going to show that to you guys right now. I just drew this, so even for my standards, this is pretty terrible. I just had 2 minutes to draw it before we all sat down. So I'm going to show it to you right now. So this is the simplest comic in the world. You guys can see it here, up there. There you go. Okay. Good? And now there's nothing. All right. So,
Putting right
put it underneath right. Yeah, let's bring it right there. Sure.
I'll let you.
Thanks. We'll get up close and personal here with the simplest comic in the world. Or not.
All right, why don't you just go ahead and
Yeah, I'll just describe it. So, those of you who can't see, I'll bring it down a little closer. It's 3 panels, a very simple story. Here's Dad, that's Junior. There's a football, it kind of looks like a pie, but I assure you it is in fact football. Dad's yelling, "Go long!" They're in the park, there's grass. It's summer, there's the sun. Dad throws a long bomb, Junior runs down the field. Dad makes the diving catch, touchdown, or Junior makes the diving catch, Dad's yelling, "Touchdown, hooray," arms in the air. So, 3 panels, a very simple story, but it is in fact every story. And when you're teaching cartooning, it isn't just cartooning, but as we saw up here before, it's storytelling too. And this is every story ever. Every story has 3 panels, 3 acts, 3 parts. Beginning, middle, end. First act, second act, third act. And every first act of every story ever has to answer 5